So over the last few years I have made in total about 5 fire cape guides. Each of them all different, but I feel like, I mean, yeah, they get you through the fire cape, yeah, they help you get your fire cape, but I don't think other than the Jad luring guide is that in depth. But now I'm going to make a Jad done easy guide. So recently I found out this method, and it is so much easier than any of the methods that I've previously said, and in fact any of the methods on YouTube. So I know how much people struggle with Jad, so let's get straight into it. Before we move on, if you have any trouble with the previous waves, I would suggest clicking on the Ultimate Fire Cape Guide. It's in the top left hand corner, or the full 5Ks with sound and commentary. Okay, so probably the most frequently asked question, Alex, what should I use? I don't want to spend too long here, so I'm just going to get straight into it. I've shown on screen the 4 setups that I would recommend for a pure Zerk with no void, and a main. So have a look at them. The main thing to point out here is you need a Carol's crossbow for this method. If you do not have a Carol's crossbow, you can use a magic short bow, you can use a crystal bow, you can use any longbow. In fact, like a willow longbow will work. It does not matter how much damage it does. The only reason I have a Carol's crossbow is because it helps with the previous lures in the previous waves. Again, a little background information. There is 5 current spawns for Jad. That is the northwest, the middle, the southeast, the south, and the southwest. And the little cross that I've marked on the map is where you need to be standing. I know it's quite hard to see here, but you'll understand later on in the guide. One thing that is really handy, and I think a lot of other people have learnt quite recently, is how to predict where your Jad will spawn. So a lot of people know that Jad will spawn where the orange 360 will spawn. However, at that time, it's one wave before Jad. A little bit late to be, I mean, yeah, it helps, but you know, you could go one up on that. So on wave 2, yes, wave 2, that is exactly the same spawn as what will happen on wave 62. So where the 2 level 22 birds are is exactly where the 2 360s will spawn on wave 62. And one better than that, on wave 3, the level 45 monster is exactly where your Jad will spawn. Of course, to check this on wave 62, you can check where your orange 360 spawns, and it should be in exactly the same place as where your 45 was on wave 3. So if you want, you can pre-force Jad spawns. You can go in and out of the cave and think, okay, well, Jad's going to spawn here. I know this method really easily, so I'm going to make it spawn here. Okay, so let's get into the method. For this guide, there is 3 different lures that you need to know. The south and the southeast are exactly the same. The middle and the northwest and the southwest, again, are exactly the same. So for this guide, I'm only going to show the 3 lures, because that's all that you really need to know. However, if you do want to see all 5 lures in a walkthrough, I'll put that in a separate video. The reason I can't put them all in this video is because it will just take way too long. The video will be too long, and I want this to be a really quick, easy guide. So next to each word is a time. If you click on that time, it will take you to somewhere in this video as to where I'm showing that given lure. However, if you click on the word, so for example south or southeast, this will take you to a new video where I'll be showing the full walkthrough with in-depth commentary. These videos will be unlisted, so you will not be able to find these by searching on YouTube. You will have to come back to this video and click on the link that I have on screen. Alternatively, you can save the link in, for example, a notepad and just copy and paste it into your browser without coming back to this video. Also, I'll suggest watching all 3 of the lures first, because the first lure is where I'll be going through it in detail, and then the other 2 I'll be referring to the previous lure that I just did, just for quickness. So watch all 3 lures and then predetermine which lure you have, and then you can single out exactly what part of the video that you want to watch. I'm sure you've heard these before, but just for the sake of this guide, I'm going to put the Jad Sounds in this video. So make sure you know these before you go Jad, as you will heavily be relying on these sounds, as sometimes you will not be able to see Jad's feet. Okay, so if you're not good with sounds, and only if you're not good with sounds, because it's quite a risky technique, but if you really cannot understand it, always pray range, and then if you hear any sound at all, pray mage straight away. The idea behind this is switching to mage prayer. The range attack would have already happened, however the mage attack wouldn't. As soon as you take a hit, you need to switch back to your range and just repeat this until Jad is lured correctly. However, I would advise not to do this. I would advise to learn the sounds first, as you will have a lot higher success rate determining Jad's attack sounds. Okay, so the first lure I'm going to show is the south or southeast one. All that matters is where you stand just after you kill the last level 360. So to the east side of the cave is Italy Rock. As soon as you kill the last level 360, you need to run just north of Italy Rock, which is the east rock. Once you are behind this, you should see Jad spawning just to the south of you. This should be south of the rock that you're currently at. It will not be able to attack you until you walk out and let it physically attack you. So if you remember seeing my Ultimate Fire Cape guides, I talked a lot about this aeroplane lure. So once Jad is to the south of you, you can stand on the aeroplane. I will put a cross on the screen, and I'll also show on screen where this is if you have not seen my other Fire Cape guide. But you need to go to this, and you need to stand 5 steps to the west. If you want more information on this, on screen now I will leave a link to exactly the point of my Ultimate Fire Cape guide where I talk about this. It's quite a confusing thing to talk about if you do not know what it is. However, I'm sure if you come from that video and you know exactly what to do, it'll be really easy. Okay, so once you have found this aeroplane lure, you need to stand, as I said, 5 steps to the west. This will lure Jad out, so if you're not ready, you can just stand 4 steps to the west and it will not be able to attack you. As soon as you take that 1 extra step to the west, Jad will finally attack you. At this point, you want to be praying range. This is because the range attack is a lot faster than the mage attack. Once you've taken the first hit, 5 steps west of the airplane spot, you need to run all the way east and then all the way north into the northeast corner. Your Jad now should be properly lured, which means you can now go up and kill Jad. However, you need to make sure that you stand on the cross that I have marked. This should be quite easy from here, as you are right next to Jad and you should easily be able to see the attacks. When Jad gets to half HP, the healers will spawn. The good thing about using this guide, when the healers come, you need to equip your Carol's crossbow. When the healers have surrounded Jad, you need to hit each one of these once. Again, if you do not have a Carol's crossbow, this is exactly why I said to use an oak longbow. It does not matter how much damage you do on healers, you will not be killing them. All you will do is be taking their aggro, but because Jad is standing right in their way, none of them can attack you and you can just keep killing Jad. Just make sure that you take 1 Jad hit and hit 1 healer, and just repeat this for all 4 healers. Another good thing to get used to is to click underneath you every time you attack a healer. This will stop your character being dragged out, because if you attack the healers for too long, it can run behind the rock and can drag you out. And also if you misclick, again, it's quite helpful to be able to click under you. In the videos I'm showing, I do not click under me, just so I've done this method way too much and I know how to do it properly. I would suggest, as a beginner, to click underneath you and attack 1 healer every time you take 1 Jad hit. Do not rush this, it's the most important part of the cave, and it only takes less than a minute, so you need to get it right. Once you have all the healers lured, you are now free to kill Jad, and you shouldn't have taken a single bit of damage. Easy. Okay, let's move on to the middle spawn. The middle spawn is the one that you hope for. The middle spawn is the easiest one out of them all, as you only take 1 hit before it is pre-lured. If you're skipping straight to this part of the video, I would suggest watching the previous lure first, as I go into deep detail as to where you should stand and where you should take hits and how you should take hits. As soon as you have killed the level 360 major in the middle, you need to run to the northeast corner. As soon as you run to the northeast corner, you should take 1 damage there. As soon as you take 1 damage, you should then run to the previous spot that I used in the previous section. This will be marked by an X on the map. Very similar to the previous section, now you are here, you just need to attack Jad and get it down to half HP. When it's half HP, the healers will spawn. When the healers spawn, you just stay calm, and as soon as the healers surround Jad, just like the previous section, you need to hit each one of these healers individually, taking hits in between from Jad. I was just also clicking underneath you, as this will stop you from running out. But as soon as you have all the healers lured, it's pretty much plain sailing from here. Okay, so finally moving on to the northwest and southwest lures. It's not that hard, it's just hard compared to the other 2 because the other 2 are really easy. So as soon as you kill the last 360, almost 62, you need to run to the southeast corner. Once you're at the southeast corner, you need to take 1 hit there. As soon as you've taken that one hit, you need to run north around Italy Rock and back to where you started for the previous 2 lures. Once you are here, you now should see Jad to the south of Italy Rock. Once it is here, you may recognise this spot. You need to do exactly the same as what I mentioned in the first method in the south and southeast spawns. I'm not going to go through it again, so if you do want to see that again, then you can just rewind this video and go back and have a look at it. If not, you need to follow exactly the same steps as you did. Run to the aeroplane spot, run 5 steps west, run all the way east, run back north, and then finally south into the spawn that you previously had marked by an X. Again, the same as the last ones, healers will spawn when it is half HP, so once you get to half HP, you to put on your cavalry's crossbow and hit all 4 of the healers, taking 1 hit in between each hit, and make sure you click undo just so you don't run out. Again, quite an easy method. If you do want more explanation for this, then either rewind the video to the south and southeast spawns, or check out the full walkthrough, which will be linked either in the description or at the start of this guide in the contents page, which I mentioned at the start. And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments and I'll try and get back to you. Or if you don't want to do that, send me a direct message either on Twitter, which is @PopsNRS, or on my YouTube or even Twitch. And thanks for watching, and good luck with your future fire capes.